Good afternoon. How is everybody? Good? Yay! Who's ready to talk about healthy hearts and hear about healthy hearts? Well, we have an exciting program for you. My name is Leslie Fleming, and I'm the Director of Business Development and Marketing at Garden City Hospital. I'd like to invite people to fill the seats at the tables, and right now I'd like to introduce the key featured people who will be talking today from the city and from the hospital. First up, we have the Chief Executive Officer of Garden City Hospital. It's my pleasure to introduce Saju George, and if you'll join me up on the stage, and also the Honorable Mayor Wild will be kicking things off.
Well, thank you. First of all, sorry for the few minutes delay that we have, but I'm glad that you could join with us this afternoon. It's with great joy that I welcome you to our first cardiac survivor and screening event right here. Heart disease is a leading cause of illness and mortality in the country as well as in our region. We are so pleased to be celebrating your survivorship with you. And thank you for trusting your care with us. We take it very seriously, and it's our privilege and an honor to serve you. Recently, Garden City Hospital have expanded our capabilities in cardiac services with the addition of elective procedures, angioplasty procedures. Dr. Ashok Kondur is a leading interventional cardiologist, well-trained, highly regarded in the community, and he is leading our efforts internal at Garden City Hospital. And pretty soon, he and some of our members of our team will explain to you in detail about what's new at Garden City and what we are trying to accomplish. But now I would like to take a minute to thank the physicians and our dedicated staff members that provide exceptional care every day to the patients that we serve, and for their commitment to expand access to advanced cardiac services right in our community. Thank you, physicians and the community. Finally, I think it'll be, last but not least, a privilege for me to welcome Mayor Wild. Mayor Wild and his team, Bill Wild, has been amazing to work with. We had the pleasure of partnering with Mayor Wild for the last year. And I'm pleased to announce today that we are breaking grounds for a large ambulatory site right here in the community next to this beautiful facility that we have right here. And next year, this time, we hope to have a large ambulatory presence in Westland, working closely with Mayor and his team. We are so excited because for us, it is an extension of enhancing our mission to serve the community and partner with Mayor in his vision to build a healthy community. So we are very excited on this partnership with the City of Westland, Mayor and his team, and we are looking forward for a new journey with that. With that, I will welcome Mayor Wild to the stage. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Saju, for your kind words, and thank you to everybody at the Garden City Hospital Prime Medical Facility. We appreciate you've got an incredible staff, and there's a lot of Westlanders that work at the hospital, so we appreciate the opportunities that you offer them as well. So welcome to the new Westland City Hall. It's not exactly new. It's a couple years old, but we still call it new. We're very proud of it. So for those of you that have been around the area a long time, you remember it as a former Circuit City site, and we're proud to have redeveloped this into a beautiful new building. And we're very proud that we're going to be neighbors with the new investment that Garden City Hospital announced here today, and hopefully we can invite all of you back for a groundbreaking ceremony in the very near future as we develop that out. So we're pleased to have this increased partnership with Garden City Hospital and Saju. Garden City Hospital will always be special to me because that's where I was born. So we lived in Westland, but I was born in Garden City Hospital, so it's always special to me. And we look forward to partnering on today's health initiative, but moving forward as well, because in the city of Westland, we're trying to create a healthy community, and we're very proud of this partnership. It's going to go a long way to help us do that, and we appreciate your investment and the major role that you're playing in economic development here in the city of Westland. One of our goals when the city had needed a city hall for a long time because we were in an undersized city hall that had some environmental issues. This area of Westland, we call it the Shop and Dine District. When they seeded Westland Shopping Center back in 1965, we quickly became a city after that. But this is a very important section of the city of Westland, and as we came through the recession, the city of Westland doubled down on this area, and we put in $16 million between this building and a new fire station and the improvements that we just finished up on Central City Parkway. And with that, we were looking to kind of reinvigorate this area and kind of to start to move away a little bit from retail into more sustainable things. And I think that your medical investment is going to be a welcome addition to the Westland Shop and Dine District. So with that, we have a short video to kind of get everybody's blood pumping a little bit before we start today's event. So with that, these talented people in the back of the room, these are the folks that put together Westland's award-winning cable station, WLND. So we're going to roll our All-American City video. Thank you.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket. Got that.
Well, first of all, I like the small town feel of Westland. I love our Friendship Center. I've been a resident here for a while, and every time I walk in the Friendship Center, I can actually run into a friend of mine. My next favorite place is our farmers market. I love fresh vegetables, and it is a wonderful place to go.
And I love the diversity of people. I love shopping in Westland and the great restaurants that we eat at.
We happen to be looking for a facility, a new facility, a much larger facility than the current one that we were occupying in the city of Livonia. Bill's team, when we were moving into this facility, was very instrumental. The infrastructure we were very impressed with. The roads are in very great condition. Worked with the city council and with Mayor Wild to help bring this whole thing together. We're very impressed with the city of Westland.
It wasn't quite that long ago that this wasn't around, actually. So we're happy to say that Westland has really improved this area. Now we have, and we can come here on the weekends to watch our kids play. There's the H2O zone right behind us as well with the farmers market. Play area for the kids as well, which has been great.
We love living in the city of Westland because, you know, the park over there, the city park is really great for kids. It's really huge. Even if there are several kids, it's like fun for kids anyways. And over the weekends, you know, we go to the library, which is actually a good place to go learn stuff for kids. They play over there, and it's actually really fun.
We're looking forward to the Splash Park as well as some of the events this summer that are all free. The Park at Movie Night's a great one. We love the Blues, Brews, and Barbecue as well with the music and the fireworks. We were really impressed, and we're so excited to invite our friends from surrounding areas to come be a part of all these great free events. I grew up in Livonia and some of the same buildings are still vacant, but in Westland, I see a lot of progression. I see new stores popping up. One of my favorites at the mall, Charming Charlie. It's a good one, a great example. Just really, really pleased with the movement forward that the city is making.
Westland really has improved the cultural opportunities around the city. Inspire Theater really has a great show going on every week. Their performances there are amazing. The gallery at the City Hall rotates in local artists. The artwork there is wonderful to take in. The library always seems to have something going on there. Food-wise, where else would you rather be than here? Anything that you would like to enjoy, you can find right in town.
It's always been my responsibility since I was younger to always take out the trash. And since the recycling program has started, we've been throwing out a lot less trash and a lot more, it's been almost all recycling, which makes me happy because the city of Westland is doing a great job with assuring that the environment for my future kids and my grandkids is going to be clean and safe. And the city of Westland and the Mission Green program is doing a good job with that.
I'm a longtime resident. I've been on the south side for about 12 years now. I'm also a business owner in the city of Westland. I think the city's been great. You know, we have a strong leadership team in the city. They've won the awards to back that up. And we have a first-rate, you know, top-notch police and fire department. DPS always takes care of the roads in a timely, efficient, effective manner. And we have a strong communication platform on social media. I feel well informed. I know what's going on in my city. I'm here to stay, man. I'm hanging in there. I'm here for the long haul because to me it seems like it's getting better all the time.
We love living in Westland. It's a great place for the kids and our families to grow.
Well, that was phenomenal. The next part of our presentation is very special, and it's really the reason that we are here. It's to celebrate survivorship. I would like to call to the stage three of my colleagues who are just phenomenal in terms of building this wonderful new quality heart program at Garden City Hospital. I'd like to call to the stage Pat Roberts, who is our Chief Nursing Officer, Debbie King, who is our Director of Cardiac Services, and last but not least, Dr. Condor, who Mr. George mentioned.
Good afternoon. We're so glad that you're here because we're here to celebrate a great program that was just starting. I've only been at Garden City for about 5 months. And when I got there, these two people were very, very busy making sure that cardiac services grew and that we had the best cardiac services that we could offer in the community. So I'm very pleased to be a part of this group, and we really would like to recognize those of you that have had a cardiac event. So any of you that have had some kind of cardiac event, will you stand up, please? Anybody else? Come on, don't be shy. Very good. We celebrate you. We celebrate the fact that you're here today. We're glad that you got services that you needed in a timely manner. And what we want to do is make sure that each of you knows how special you are. So throughout the rest of the presentations, you're going to hear from some of our other physicians about what signs to watch for and how people present. And they're going to be sharing their expertise as well as we have a lot of booths with information for you to learn about cardiac disease and how you can help yourself. Guys, jump in.
Again, very happy you're here, and if, as we're going through, since you're not standing up, if you miss anybody, please flag them. We have a certificate. We're also very proud that you chose us as Garden City Hospital to have your care, and we hope we treated you like we would have treated our family, and we're so pleased that you're here with us. It's with a lot of pride that I'd like to introduce Dr. Condor. He's our Director of Cardiology. He's our interventional specialist. And because of him and the work he's done, we're providing services that, probably in a community hospital we never dreamed would be possible. So at this time, I would like to introduce him.
Thank you. I don't know I deserve it, but a lot of people are praising, I'll take it for now. So without support of Saju, when I came in 1.5 years ago, he said, we need to develop a program that we don't need to transfer out the patients out of Garden City to somewhere else, like a tertiary centers like Oakwood, Maine, and DMC, and Providence. I said, in return, I asked for him, you need to give what I need to build a good program where we can make an impact in the society so that we save their lives and so that they can go back and play with their grandchildren and also spend a good quality of time with their family. So with the support of Saju, and he gave me what I needed for the program. I asked for the freedom. I do what I need to do to build the program. So he gave me the full freedom to develop the program. I really appreciate your support. And in terms of finance and also to build the program and also support ancillary services. And also he hired Deb for, she did a wonderful job in the paperwork to get the program going. It took us 6 months to get approved from the state, and so that we can treat every heart-related condition while in the same community. We don't need to go out of the Garden City Hospital. So the only thing is, even today, compared to 1970s, even today, we're in the 2017, the mortality of the cardiogenic shock patients, that means people who present late. If the body tells you something related to the heart, please, even though it's a false alarm, you have a strong risk factors, make sure that you seek advice right away to your nearest either primary care, cardiologist, and make sure that you see them. If you present late, even today, we couldn't be able to improve the survival, even as a 50% survival. Patients who present late presenters, present with the low blood pressures and the very bad situation, we do our effort to the maximum effect and using all the current day technology to make some impact and make them alive. But the patients are very important. If your body tells you something, please, and cognizant enough, and talk to your physicians and seek help right away. Instead of waiting for day 2, when they have a chest pain, short of breath, you have a strong family history, my sincere request is seek help right away. Then we make a difference, definitely. We have every equipment possible in Garden City, and we treat and give a standard of care in superior, and we can act upon and make a difference in our lives. That's the only request I have. And I would like to thank all the staff and who supported me and build up the program, and also other cardiologists who supported me. And I really sincerely thank all of them. Thank you.
It takes a team, and there's a lot of people involved. And at this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Cheers, who's one of our ER physicians, if she could come up. And also Dr. Adam Chornaby, one of our diagnostic cardiologists, if he could come up as well.
I forgot to mention, Cheers is the captain of the ship. If she don't recognize when you guys present, I'm nowhere belong to this plan, or nowhere belong to this team. So she's the chief of ER. She is the one who helped me the most, activating the emergencies and everything. They are the first eyes and catching this kind of cases. And the captain of the ship is Dr. Cheers. Here.
That was very gracious of Dr. Condor. As Dr. Condor said, I'm in charge of the ER, but first and foremost, I'm an ER physician. And so I'm the first one that sees you when you come into the ER. There's a lot of things that happen. People will come in with a heart attack. It's very obvious. All of us can see it with the guy that goes like this and looks like he's in pain. Unfortunately, that's not how most people present. Those are the easy ones. We see people who come in. I just had a lady the other day, I just don't feel right. She had an MI. I had another person come in years ago. I just ate a bad cucumber. My stomach hurts. He had a heart attack. I've had people come in and say, I know something's just not right. So unfortunately, I can't tell you when to come to the emergency department when you're concerned about your heart. I can give you some guidelines. Chest pain. Where is your chest? In the ER, your chest is from here to here. Any pain in that area, if you're over the age of 45, is cardiac until proven otherwise. If you have shortness of breath, come to the emergency department. That could be cardiac. If you have back pain, that can be cardiac. If you have nausea, that can be cardiac. So unfortunately, my job would be easy if everyone came to the ER with chest pain like this. But unfortunately, that's not the majority of how people present, especially if you're older, especially if you're female. I tend to say that guys are easy. They come in, chest pain like this. Us women, nah, we're a little bit harder. We come in with, I just don't feel well. I feel sick. So if you're female, you're not gonna have, potentially not gonna have the same kind of chest pain that a guy will have, and diabetic. So those are the ones, but again, anyone who comes in with any complaint of anything between here and systemically dizzy, nauseated, I just don't feel well, cardiac is the #1 thing. I may not say you're having a heart attack, but I'll make sure you're not before I address what else is going on. So my request of you, as Dr. Condor has said, is time is of the essence. My job, the reason I went into this job, by the way, I love my job, is to help people. And there's only so much we can do with what we have today. So we ask that you give us the best chance to help you by seeking attention sooner than later, because the later you put it off, the less we're going to be able to offer you. And every one of us that go into medicine want to help people and want you to enjoy your life. And when we can't do that, it's frustrating to us. And so for us to be successful, we need you to be successful. So to do that, please seek medical attention sooner than later. And then I think Dr. Tornaby is going to talk to you about risk factors. And so we can get an idea of who is at risk. But unfortunately, he'll probably say this as well, even if you have 0 risk factors, does not mean you're never going to have a cardiac event. Life sometimes just isn't fair. Adam, thank you.
Great job, Dr. Cheers. My name is Dr. Adam Shornaby. I'm a diagnostic cardiologist. I specialize in preventing, diagnosing coronary disease and treating. I'm not one of the superheroes that Dr. Cheers and Dr. Kondo are, but I'd like to talk about risk factors. So, #1, smoking. Biggest risk factor, right? If you smoke today, you just had your last cigarette, right? There's nothing you can do that is going to prevent coronary disease more than stopping smoking. High blood pressure. High blood pressure is one of the biggest causes of heart attacks, strokes. So if you're on blood pressure medication, you need to see your physician frequently and make sure your blood pressure is controlled. Diabetes. If you haven't been screened for diabetes, you probably should be. Tight glycemic control, or controlling those sugars, really goes a long way in preventing coronary disease, heart disease, and strokes as well. One of the big contributors is family history. Like Dr. Cheers said, it doesn't matter. You could have 0 risk factors. That doesn't mean that you don't have coronary disease, okay? Sometimes people come in 0 risk factors having big-time heart attacks. So it doesn't matter if you don't have any heart attacks in your family, but obviously if you have a strong family history, that's something that we're going to be worried about. Obesity, lifestyle changes like eating good, eating foods that are low in cholesterol, that goes a long way. Exercising as much as you can, daily, 3 times a week. It doesn't matter how old you are, but exercising, keeping your cardiovascular health and your endurance in check goes farther than you can imagine, especially with cardiovascular health. Anything else that I'm forgetting? You guys have any questions at any time, feel free to ask us. The last thing I want to touch on is diagnosing heart disease. So There's many tests that I don't need to go into, but if you're having chest pain, we can do easy tests that we put stickies on your chest just to check your heart rhythm and see if there's any heart injury, stress testing, or things that are further invasive, as some of you know, are called heart catheterization to diagnose coronary disease. So without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Condor, who's going to fill us in with some more interventional techniques.
Before we have Dr. Condor come back, I know a lot of you received certificates. I know a lot of you personally. Is there anyone from the audience who's had an event that would like to share their story so that others would know how you presented and what's going on in your life now? I'm going to look to the right because there's no volunteers, so I'll volunteer someone that I know and appreciate very much. I'd like my two staff from the cardiac rehab, Michelle Amato, who's a registered nurse, and Lisa Reeves, who's a respiratory therapist. We have a great cardiac rehab program at Garden City. And after an event, sometimes you're afraid to, exercise, cut the lawn, push the vacuum cleaner. And we bring you in and we put a monitor on you and we make sure that it's safe for you to do your activities of daily living. And I'm going to ask my two rehab staff and one of our patients if she'll come up and share her story.
I'm Donna Hill, and I'm here today. I had my 4th heart attack at rehab. And thank God to these two lovely ladies, because when they told me to quit working out, I thought, you talking to me? Because I just didn't feel good that morning, and my other heart attacks were different. And I was just going to go back to bed, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and go. Of course, my husband's shoving me out the door, go ahead and go, and I was walking up there, and I was quite tired. I thought, well, a little out of breath, tired, because I was parked far away. I want to get that little extra so I can get up that blood pressure. Well, the girls got me hooked up, and, I just thought, well, I just thank God I had these two lovely ladies, and I happened to be at that rehab that day because it saved my life for another heart surgery. I had 3 so far, and I feel great.
Is there anyone else that would like to share? Oh, I see your smiles. You weren't that bashful when you were in the lab. Want to come up? Would you like to come up? Can we take the mic to him? That would be great.
Kind of sure.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Paul Atesha. Last year in September, I was at my job, and everything was going along pretty good, but it was temperature was pretty hot outside, and the sweat was unbearable. It just wouldn't stop, wouldn't slow down. I couldn't control it. But me being a hardhead, I went and got some water. I stayed in the air conditioning for a while. And I figured, well, I'm going to go back out there and try to function with my job. but it didn't turn out that way. One of my buddies rolled up in his truck and asked me if I was all right, and I had severe back pain, shoulder pain, not in the front, but in the back, and still sweating. Then I started getting very dizzy. I felt like I was going to pass out. And I got very lightheaded, so I figured, well, I'm going to go and talk to my boss in the office and see if he could drive me home, because I wouldn't even drive my vehicle home. And he said, yes, I will. So he said, do you want me to drive you to a hospital? And I told him, well, I'd prefer to go home, see my wife, talk to my wife, go take a shower before I went. And I did do that. After I took my shower, I walked down the stairs, and then I went and vomited, and I was extremely in pain. So when I got into the van, I couldn't even sit up in it. I had to lay on the front seat. And when we got to the Garden City, I believe we got there just in the nick of time, because if it was any later, I don't think I'd be up here standing and talking to you people today. So I'm very blessed to be here. Dr. Condor did a great job. Garden City did a great job for me when I was in there. I was in there like for 6 days. I went to the cardiac rehab, and that helped me out a whole lot too. And then back in the February of this year, I was going through where I wasn't feeling where I should have been at that time. And I got with Dr. Condor again. He ran a bunch of tests on me, and he found out that I had another blockage. So I had got cleared of that blockage as well. And I was on a defibrillator for I don't know how many months. But now, back in April, on the 20th of April, which tomorrow will be marked 3 months, they put a ICD in me. And, you know, I'm still going through a little bit of pains yet, but that's something that I got to deal with, and I've been getting better at it. But when it came to last Friday, I got up early in the morning. It was a real light pain. But as the day went on, it increased. And when I went, my wife wanted me to go pick up some water, some drinking water, 24 packs. I picked up 2 of them, a gallon of milk and 6 cans of green tea. And when I unloaded and went into the house, then my pain started. They were just with me. And I told my wife, I says, you know what, I think we need to take a ride. And she says, what do you mean take a ride? Where do you want to go? I said, go to Garden City. I got to get checked out. You know, so I'm glad I did. I was there for like 4.5 hours last Friday night. They took x-rays and ran tests, blood count and everything, and they said that everything came back negative, so that was a good thing. And ever since from there to now, I'm doing my thing. I'm still exercising. I feel a lot better, and that's about it. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here. And I'm really shy, so that's as far as I can go. Thank you.
Thank God for Garden City Hospital. That's all I got to say.
Same here. It's a great hospital.
Yes, it is.
It's a great hospital.
Everybody.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story. Ma'am, go this. Don't you break it.
You want to call? Marilyn, you want to come and share your experience, if you can?
Well, I come up here. Can you hear me? I come up here, and after listening to his story and all,
See now.
yeah, when you're short, you have these problems.
I know
So.
how to fix that. I'm short too.
I feel truly blessed that I did not have to go through what maybe a lot of you did. And my experience was I had, no matter what you say, I had no pain. I had nothing that would have told me you're going to be in trouble. I was doing laundry, carried him up the stairs, folded up the clothes, walked down the hall, and woke up in the hospital saying, what happened? Where am I? The funny thing is, I had washed and set my hair. For you older ladies that remember the curlers in the hair, someone said, you had a heart attack and something about angioplasty. And I said, when? All done, all over with. Thank God you were there. Can we take your picture? We want people to so you can come to Garden City with a heart attack and get your hair done at the same time. So I can remember trying to get the pics out, and somebody helped me. But I think if it hadn't been for Dr. Condor, I definitely would not be here today. He did the angioplasty. I was able to come home. I bugged him enough. And about 2 weeks later, I had 3 stents put in. And then I had to wait another week or so. And guess what? I got a 4th one. So that's my limit. I'm not doing this anymore. But I just want to say, if it weren't for Dr. Condor, and he put up with me, because I kept thinking, I want to go home, I want to go home. I'll get better faster at home than I will here. But he stuck with me and said, no, you're going to heal, but you're not going to heal on your terms. It's going to be on his terms. And I think Garden City is very lucky to have him on their staff. And I thank him and all of you. I don't know who took my curlers out, but thank you at the time. So, thank you all.
Well, let's give one last round of applause for these amazing stories and for all of the survivors here and anyone who knows anybody who's been touched by heart disease. Now, at this time of our program, we're going to switch gears a little bit and move into a heart-healthy cooking demonstration. Are you ready to hear about some heart-healthy cooking? Yeah. All right. Thank you so much to our team and to those who shared their stories. While our chef, Nick, is preparing the demonstration, I just wanted to mention that following his presentation, we have screenings in the community room, and that's also where the door prizes will be drawn. So I hope all of you filled out a little slip for your door prizes. But the community room is just in this direction, and we have a number of our health professionals who will be available to provide educational materials and screening services for you. So we hope you take advantage of that after the cooking demonstration.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nick. I'm the chef at the Garden City Hospital. Today we are preparing a cranberry, cilantro, and quinoa salad. This particular salad is good. You can serve it either hot or cold. Now, especially with it being summertime, things getting hot, cold is kind of preferred. But you can serve it also with like a grilled piece of chicken or something along those lines, where it can be kind of like your starch instead of just a salad. So we'll go ahead and get started with the process here. So what I'm going to do first is I have a little bit of oil. I'm going to put it in this pan here, get the pan nice and hot with the oil. And I've got some onions and some garlic that I'm going to start cooking a little bit. I have some raw quinoa and some vegetable broth. This vegetable broth is low sodium, but there are other products out there that you can find that I've actually seen at places like Meijer and Kroger and things. It's actually made by Swanson's. That is a no sodium broth. So like even their chicken and their beef broths, they have no sodium in them, so very good for you. So I like cooking the garlic and the onions first, kind of roasting them a little bit, giving them, bringing out the flavor in them. Of course, with things that are going to be low in sodium, you want to try to maximize the amount of flavor that you're getting out of the food that you're cooking. So by cooking the onions and the garlic first, you're going to roast them, get a little bit of more flavor. And then I'll take the quinoa and I'll add it into my onions and garlic while they're cooking and kind of toast that up as well. Get it to where it's kind of a light brown color. It actually gives it a nuttiness to it, which will help increase the flavor as well. And then at that point, you go ahead and add your broth. And essentially what you're doing is you're cooking the quinoa like you would be cooking rice. So this process here, you're going to bring your liquid to a boil and then drop it to a simmer. And it's going to take about 20 minutes like rice does to cook it correctly. It'll be nice, and by that point in time, it'll get nice and tender. You're picking up the flavor actually in the grain of the quinoa from the onions and the garlic. You're also picking up that flavor from the vegetable broth. Because of our time limitations, I can't actually show you the entire cooking process, because if serving this as a cold salad, once the cooking process is done, you would actually have to take it and put it in the refrigerator, cool it down before you can add all the rest of the ingredients. So I at least wanted to get you to understand how this first part of the process worked. You're basically cooking the quinoa like a rice. So now that everything is cold, I have some quinoa here that I've already prepared. It's already cooked. And we're going to take some chopped carrots, any kind. I have a mixture here of heirloom carrots, which are purple carrots, yellow carrots, and white carrots. They have a slightly different flavor than your traditional orange carrot would, so you're adding a little more flavor into your product here. Then I have the dried cranberries, which again can be substituted out for anything you're comfortable with, whether it be dried cranberries, dried cherries. GFS has this bag of dried blend that I actually really like, and it's like a cherry berry blend. It's got cherries, cranberries, and dried blueberries in it. That's very good. Now I added a little bit of toasted almonds. I have a little bit of red and yellow peppers, some fresh chopped cilantro, and then a little bit of lemon juice. You just take all that together, mix it. So then essentially, when everything's done, it should look like this, and what you guys have in the sample cups there and are looking at. My recommendation to optimize your flavor, especially if you're eating it cold, would be to make it the day before and let it sit in your refrigerator and let all those flavors kind of combine together. It's kind of like when you make a soup or you make a pot of chili or something like that, it always tastes better the second day. So with these, I would recommend, especially if you're serving it as a cold dish for the summer, making it a day ahead of time and just letting it sit so your flavors can get pushed all together. Absolutely.
Hi, my name's Char Teeter, and I am the nurse manager in the ER at Garden City Hospital. And I'm not going to tell you about an event I had, because luckily I have a healthy heart, but I have a husband who about 20 years ago had his first heart attack and had to have 5-vessel cabbage done. He had to have vessels in his heart repaired. He's done well for about the last 18 years, and since then, on Christmas this year, we were going to my daughter's for dinner, and he didn't have the typical chest pain or any of the stuff that he had the first time. We were walking up the stairs to go into the house, and he just kind of collapsed and fell into a bush. Well, because he's on blood thinners, because he's a cardiac patient, I was afraid that if he'd hit his head, he might have a stroke or a bleed in his head. So I insisted that we go to the ER. And I took him, of course, to Garden City, because I know they have a great cardiac program there, and I trust all their physicians and the nurses that care for them, and it's my ER, so I knew he'd get good care there. And while he was having a heart attack again, and it was, like I said, the symptoms were nothing like the first time. And he kiddingly tells the joke that he got a sweater and a shirt and an MI for Christmas. So Dr. Condor was there, and they did a cath, and they put a stent in. And he did pretty well for several months, and he was going to rehab and doing well. And then in April, again, not typical symptoms, he just wasn't feeling well. And I took him back to the ER, and he was having another MI, and they did an angioplasty this time at Garden City, and now he's been home and doing well. So I just guess we can't stress enough how everybody doesn't have the same kinds of symptoms, and how important it is that you get to an emergency room right away so that they can identify that you're having a heart attack and then take immediate action. And that's probably one of the most important things, because they always say time is muscle, and the longer you wait, the more damage is done to your heart. So it's better to come in and us send you home in a few hours after we check things out than to stay at home and have a bad outcome.
Hi, my name is Diane, and I just attended the Health and Wellness program at the City of Westland. I have to tell you, it was very informative, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I also happen to be an employee of Garden City Hospital, and have experiences working in the emergency room. Being there, you actually get to see these people in action. Many of them got up today, and they were praised, and we learned about what they did at the hospital. But I actually got to see Dr. Cheers in action. I seen Dr. Cheers take someone who was no longer with us, immediately took command, gave out her orders, and everyone followed and listened. And before her job was done, that patient was alive, and is still alive today as far as I know. To actually hear about these things is one thing, to actually witness them is something else. Garden City is definitely the place you want to be if you're having a cardiac issue.